Where are you living? Do you even like where you're living? And if you don't like where you're living, how can you move? I want to share a quick story with you before I start to explain what I'm talking about. The question of where are you living, I'm talking about your emotions. On a daily basis, where do you live emotionally? Do you live in a place of fear, of anxiety, of stress, or do you live in a place of happiness, joyful, grateful? See, in our world, there's over 4,000 different emotions that we can be feeling, and there are a whole bunch that we don't even associate words to. Tell me, have you ever been driving in a car with somebody, and all of a sudden somebody says something that you don't like, and your breathing pattern changes? Now you're taking these big, heavy breaths. You don't even have to say anything, and people in the car will know that something's not right with you. That's an emotional state that you're putting yourself into, and other people can feel that. And there's not even a word for it, just a heavy breath. So what I want to share a story with you that'll kind of give you a background of how I come to figure this out. A couple years ago, during the process of my recovery after I was injured, I thought to myself, with everything that had happened, there was a lot of things that were very unfair and unfavorable on my part that had happened to me. But if I would have taken that mentality and stuck with woe is me, why me, I think that I definitely would have not ended up in the same place, and possibly might have ended up on a completely different road, probably very bad. But after I was injured, I was so set on trying to make it significant, trying to make what had happened to me be important, not just to myself, but so I can give back to others. And what I did was I said, okay, how can I take what had happened to me and make it meaningful that I can give back to the community? And I figured that I know what I can do. I can go into physical therapy or some type of therapy, or I can give back and help the active duty military and the veteran communities. And then if I can help one person, then for me it would be worth it, because of the mental and emotional struggles that I had to go through on a regular basis were so tough for me that I was having a really hard time, and that's when a lot of the alcohol came in, a lot of the substance abuse with the pain medications had kind of taken over who I was, and I was no longer the same person. I was a completely different person because I was living in a space of negativity on a daily basis where everything was horrible, and this happened to me, not for me, not to challenge me, to help me stretch and grow. But it was so negative. And so once I got out of that place, once I learned that I can change what my incident mean to me, I was able to move where I was living on a daily basis. I was now living in an emotion of gratitude where I was actually thankful. I was so thankful that I was the one who got hurt. One of my friends who was with me, who also got hurt, he was home, and he wasn't home. He was with me, obviously, but at home he had a wife and a kid and a baby on the way. And I don't know what would have happened if he would have been in my spot and I would have been in his spot, if he would have survived or not. But every day I wake up, even to this day, I thank God that I was the one who was in the position I was, because if it would have turned out so different, then there would be two beautiful babies who would not have a father. There would be a spouse without a husband, and for me that was just so it was so powerful to change my mindset. And so every day I'm thankful that I got to go through, that I was put through and challenged to be in the position I was. And I also think that, excuse me one second, I also think that if I wouldn't have been put in that situation, I wouldn't have been able to grow and to stretch to the person that I've become today, because I wouldn't have the same things driving me each day, and I wouldn't have the same things pushing me forward, trying to help others. And that's really what I want to do. Excuse me again. Sorry, I got two little dogs. So when I ask you where are you living on a daily basis, I want you to know that if your feelings are a little on the negative side, or you're feeling despair and frustration and stress, that you can change that. And the way that you can change that, your moving truck for your emotional house is going to be through questions. How can you take something and change the meaning of it and make it to where that it's more meaningful to you, regardless of what you were doing? Instead of saying, this is so stressful and so hard, you can say something like, this is definitely a challenge and it's testing my ability, it's helping me grow. And so just trying to figure out the kinds of questions that you need to ask for your situation. Now, I don't know all the situations that you have, but I want to say that just you going through them, if you can stick to keeping your mind and having these powerful questions, that you can get through it. I know you can, because I've gotten through everything that I have, and I'm sure that there are people, that some of you out there have gone through much worse than I could possibly imagine. And so I just want you to know that you can get through this. You can do it. And so I want to say thank you again for tuning in today, and I will see you later. All right, bye-bye.